Hi, I'm Jim Jubeck, and welcome to this week's Quick Pick. My pick this week is Square. Ticker is SQ. Now, you may not, if you don't run a small business, you probably don't know there's this incredibly intense war going on among fintech companies about the small business market between PayPal and INTU and Square. I actually own all three of these stocks, so let's be clear to begin with. One of the things I like about this war is if you're a small business person, you know that small business accounts, as they're set up at most banks, are really crappy. You've got all these companies trying to disrupt a very, very potentially lucrative market. There are a lot of these accounts out there at banks. So Square, which has a little device that lets you do transactions, and about 35 million users on its Cash App, which is peer-to-peer cash transfers. Square announced back in March that they were going to add Square Financial Services, and then recently they've announced Square Banking, which is a no minimum, no overdraft, FDIC insured checking and savings account for small businesses. It's a really big deal. So let's look at some charts. This is the chart for Square. You notice it's been really, really volatile, but doing pretty well over the last few months. It's not quite as, I like this movement. I like the momentum here. I think this is a company that I want to own, so I do. This is INTU, which is the owner of QuickBooks. You notice this has a lot less volatility in it. This is a fairly typical pattern because the other thing that INTU owns is TurboTax. So hey, tax time, PayPal, which I expect to be getting more aggressive in this space. As I said, Square is really going after Venmo. It hasn't really launched something that's comparable to all these three, but unless they're completely asleep at the switch, it's coming. Now, it looks like these three stocks are competing with each other, but what I really see them is going after one big, very easily disruptible and very lucrative market at the big banks. So that's why I own all three. At the moment, I would say Square's got more momentum. So at the moment, I'd say buy Square as opposed to the other two. But I think you ought to look at all three going forward. If you want to get more portfolios from me, more stock picks, go to my free site, jubeckpicks.com, or subscribe and get even more portfolios, even more stock picks at my subscription site, jubeckam.com. Thanks very much, and see you next week.